Today we're going to start on the offensive hand motions. Previously we've done linear and circular blocking techniques. Now we're going to worry about counteroffensive techniques. We're going to start this with the closed hand techniques, utilizing the fist. The first thing we have to know is how to make a proper fist. So we're going to take our hands, we're going to bring them up, bring our fingers together, and you're going to roll them down. Then you take your thumb and you're going to place it across at least your index and middle finger. If you've got long enough thumbs, take it across your ring also, but at least lock it in this way. So from here we're going to begin with the square punch, also known as a straight punch or a karate punch. When you focus, you're going to focus aiming with right here so that this square makes contact. Now there are some schools of thought of striking with the bottom section of the hand because it's a larger striking surface, but this bone on your pinky breaks very easily. And so without a lot of conditioning, we don't want this to be a striking surface. It leads to what is most commonly known as a boxer's fracture. So we're going to use this flat plane of the index and middle knuckle square right here. Japanese is called seiken. I've seen people call it the ram's head before because of the way the knuckles stick up. So when we're applying this, it can be done at any angle. You can punch straight to where it penetrates in. You can punch vertically to where it penetrates in. That is all very dependent upon your situation. Because of the height and straightness of this and having to hit upward at an angle, I would have to cock my wrist to do a horizontal strike here. So this vertical strike is much more efficient. Whereas in the lower section, a horizontal strike is better. This fist is also used in a linear fashion with things like hooks. Now this is where you have to really pay attention to aiming with these knuckles because it is very easy to hit with the bottom of the hand in a hook. So we're going to take it and we're going to come across and make sure that we are aiming with the index knuckles so that this square is what makes contact. Now in a hook, if this is difficult, you can go vertical, but typically you would go vertical this way because it's easier on the forearm. From here, we're going to move on to the next use of the fist. And it's still going to focus on these two knuckles, but it's the back fist. So you are aiming with just this section here. The back of your hand will likely make contact, but you're not aiming with the entire back of your hand. That can very easily rupture blood vessels, damage tendons. It can do a lot of things to your hand if you're not careful. So your focus is just this strip of these knuckles. You can do this vertically or horizontally. Now there are circular swinging punches where you would come across and still just strike with the back fist knuckles. The third use is the hammer fist. This is the one that takes the least amount of conditioning and the one that is most commonly told at the very beginning of any kind of self-defense seminar. Because this is a meaty section of your hand. Yes, this bone is still here, and yes, it's still fragile, but it's more fragile this way, like impact. Because of the meat of your hand, when you ball this up and you tighten it, the meat swells, and you have a very effective striking surface. You always want to try to aim with the bottom part of this, not this edge of your finger, because that will not feel good. Yes, it's going to make contact. It's just what it is. But you want to aim with the meat. The fourth way to use a fist requires that we modify the placement of the thumb. We place it on the side. Now when you put it here, it's not just kind of flopping. You take the tip and you press it into the side of your index finger. That exposes this edge of your knuckles. This is called a raking fist. This is used against incoming attacks. It's really good at nerve strikes. It's really good against targets on the body. And when done lightly and quickly, it can work as almost like a burn feeling. It doesn't do deep penetrating damage. If you skip it, it just hurts really bad. But you can penetrate with this. It's like knocking on a door. It's exactly like knocking on a door. When you're doing that, you're aiming with these 3 knuckles. And yes, this entire flat section will make contact. Depending on the conditioning and structure of your hand, you can include the pinky in this on purpose, but it's going to make contact nonetheless. So, those are the 4 uses of the fist. You have your square, your back, your hammer, and your raking.